the first to know in Nsem-Pii TV.
Lawyer Paul Adom Otchere and then was storming live on air Ekusi Sen Jumedi Swabana Obi and Omanhene Kwabena Asante Atna Dream and the lawyer Paul Adom Otchere Eddie Nsem-Pii na ne tudra efa nyambo chna abato a yakotonye se nyambo chna December 7 Ghana yako akoto aba eye man pani ofo enim se anye eye Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and then the NPP abaya is Excellency the former President John Dramani Mahama and so the NDC abaya and then a lawyer Paul Adom Otchere Eddie Nsem-Pii na to Obi ne Omanhene Kwabena Asante enim se per ono lawyer Paul Adom Otchere no say between Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and His Excellency the former President John Dramani Mahama wana Ghana for emma na kwenya no nyambo china no moto abama no na obe Ghana mampani a obetime yi Ghana afri adum akọ adum enyine nim say yama former President John Dramani Mahama akwenya bi ti say pen emma enyine nim de obe 4 years na obe Ghana mampani no enyina nim nyoma ode Ghana kom ahokyere ene edum so ode Ghana kom for solid good years emma Ghana de ani bre no oya akoto abatia no over 1 million votes way back 20 emma His Excellency Nadanko Akufo-Addo ebae no nto ohwe Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia as Vice President kwale modemo a ode aboa na Nadanko Akufo-Addo abu ne mai from 2016 ebesi ene 2024 to no lawyer Paul Adom Otchere nyamo china ohun Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia say onu nipa o stand tall into ono oko akoto na aba no onkoto sebio abafun okoto na aba ama Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia ene ni NPP aba in fact was shocking Obi ene Omanhene Kwabena Asante on live radio na Nsem-Pii yenkote lawyer Paul Adom Otchere nsema odi tudwa efa Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia the Vice President of Ghana and the presidential candidate for the New Patriotic Party yenkote nsema lawyer Paul Adom Otchere ekafan
1,000 people to be electing our presidential candidates from what happened in 2008 at Legon. This party is going nowhere. We need to take it to the basic, the roots, the grassroots people. They must feel the ownership of the presidential candidate they select. So I asked him, so what is the plan? He said, I want police station. I said, hey, you are asking him an amendment to move the thing from NIPA 2,000 to 100,000. He said, and beyond. I said, wow. I said, okay, but what if you go and the people don't vote? Because you are going to ask the 2,000 to amend the constitution, to take themselves out and make it 100. How are they going to feel about it? He said, well, they have to do it for the love of the nation, the love of the party. If they don't do it, when we went to the Congress, it was the ballot papers were superfluous. We didn't need it because the voice vote carried it. And I was looking at Akufo-Addo. I said, this guy has something. The voice vote as something everybody thought was going to be controversial. The voice vote carried it unanimously. Then JJ Rowley started talking about it. That look, NDC should look at what NPP have done. They've expanded the franchise. So they should do the same. NDC expanded beyond NPP. They did about 20,000 more. So what we have in Ghana today, expanding the franchise, it is owned by Akufo-Addo. If he didn't make those decisions,
and by the franchise, you mean electoral college
within the party. Then the last one, I don't have to say much about it. Impactful social interventions. That one I'll leave it. Everybody knows what that is. So if you look at all of these and you can show me that in some of the categories somebody does better than Akufo-Addo, I'll gladly accept it. But we have looked and looked and looked. We didn't find it.
But you also agree, sir, Obiso in doing the most impactful politician of the Fourth Republic, can maybe use other matrix and come to a different conclusion?
Well, yes. So this is the matrix that we use. Yes. So another person can say anything. And we are willing to engage that.
Wow. Okay, independent media, the Fourth Republic and the dangers of fake news. Mahamudu Bawumia, discovery of the Fourth Republic, and also that's my verdict. So he's the discovery of the Fourth Republic. The entire Fourth Republic.
Yeah, the entire Fourth Republic.
From 92.
Yes, every politician looks the same except Mahamudu Bawumia. Every politician of the Fourth Republic looks the same. They campaign the same. They talk the same. They do their work the same. Mahamudu Bawumia is the only difference. No politician before Mahamudu Bawumia was campaigning with speeches in a small room with PowerPoint presentation. Nobody was doing that. And since he did it, nobody has done it. And this is what, when he started, people thought that you are going back to the British Council of Odoi Sykes NPP people. They go to British Council and it doesn't get anywhere. And he said, no, I need to explain to the middle class who pay taxes where this economy is going. Let me do that to them. And then we can take it out. And then he started these speeches and it worked like magic. And and now gradually is becoming part of our campaign, that we are demanding of people to explain to us. We are demanding of them. We are not doing that. We just do rally on the ground. Somebody speaks, everybody speaks, and we go away. Nobody's drilling down to say that this is the problem. In fact, on the rally ground, you can't do that. Rally is showmanship. And that's the way we were campaigning until Bawumia brought this sub-divisional campaign where he has people in one room and is addressing them with a PowerPoint as if he's a teacher. So that's the phenomenon which he has brought, which has also taken out. You see, if Bawumia's phenomenon was not there today, the vitriol and the acerbic things would have been worse. But because he brought that, now people are able to ask a politician that, tell us what you are going to do. Explain to us.
And explain to us.
Yeah, nobody was asking politicians to explain. When people stood on the platform in the 70s and 80s and said that they will take the seat to Kumasi, don't vote for them, we just cheer, yeah. When Kwame Nkrumah said the independence of Ghana, yeah, we don't say, no, wait. What is 24 hours? Explain. We were never doing that. Explain. It's because of Bawumia that we are doing that. Because
if I also put forth the arguments in terms of discovery of the Fourth Republic, so because take John Mahama for example, or Japan Embassy. Obi, I don't know who spoke to him, but I contest MP, Ewini Aba Parliament, an MP for I think 3 terms. Wahe Deputy Minister, Wabe Minister of State, Wabe Vice President, Wabe President, all in the same republic. Why is he not the discovery of the republic?
A discovery is somebody who brings out something new, something different. So if we say in football, the SWAG, Sports Writers Association, say a discovery of the year.
Yes.
They are not talking about the one who scored the most goals. They are talking about somebody who brought something that is different. So for instance, I don't know how much football I own, but Ebia Yakase, a defensive midfielder who has changed in this season to play on the right. That's the discovery. That's what discovery is. Not the goal king, not somebody who scored. Someone scored many goals, is a great goal king. Somebody who dribbled is a great footballer. But a left back turned into a right back and is successful. That's discovery. So the things that happen to John Mahama are great, but there are things that can happen to anyone by promotion. Somebody made him deputy minister. Somebody appointed him as a minister, and then somebody selected him as vice president, and then eventually Ghanaians voted for him as president. Nobody selected Mahamudu Bawumia and told him to do what he is doing. He decided to do it. It may not have impacted, but for it to have impacted and now become what we are looking for, that's a discovery. That's my view of the matter.
I listened to Obi to say Alan Trematin's story. Say at the time of Free Uni joining then UAC, one of the very young managers at the time, or started group
NPP?
No, not NPP. In the
Young Executive
Forum. And he makes even the point, say, at a point, he was even being encouraged to contest President Kufuor, even in the 96 primaries. So he should lead the Young Executive Forum and contest. For a man his age at that time, and this is the early 90s, to have even had that gravitas to do the things he was doing at the time, why won't you consider him as the discovery probably of the Fourth Republic? Well, he rose then to become ambassador, to become Minister of Trade, the longest we've had a Minister of Trade in our country's history. That certainly counts for
I think Alan has done great, and I think that his record is there for everyone to see. But again, it comes back to the point. How did he become Minister of Trade? Somebody appointed him.
Sure.
Yeah. How did Bawumia influence Ghanaian politics with this kind of politics? Nobody appointed him. It's innate. It came out of him.
But he was appointed running mate.
Yes, but when he was appointed running mate, running mates don't do that. So if you want to talk about appointment, you can say Alan was appointed as trade minister. He did something trade ministers don't do. So running mates were running the campaign with the presidential candidate. In fact, they were not even that front line. Bawumia was the first running mate who you could say was carrying the campaign on his shoulders. And he was carrying the campaign by a completely new method. And that's why we insist that he's a discovery. Alan Trematin's story is great. Yes, from Unilever all the way, NPP. Young Executive Forum was important to the NPP at the time. And people thinking that, look, this young man has a lot to offer. Let's push him ahead. Then he went to become ambassador, which was great, to become minister, which was great. Yes, but in terms of doing something that changes the political framework, Bawumia has done something that has changed our campaigns. That's why we call it the discovery. But you can throw up other names and we can continue talking about it. But Ghana is a country of rich resources.
Sure.
So there are many resources in the political landscape that we can pick. Yeah, but we picked Dr. Bawumia for this one.
Very well. In Malaysia, okay, I think I saw the Galamsey phenomenon. Now, the conclusion was higher than.
The conclusion here is that the Galamsey phenomenon is one of the small spots in the Akufo-Addo administration that takes away from Akufo-Addo's legacy, because Akufo-Addo is the only president who made Galamsey a focus. It is unfortunate that in his time when he made Galamsey as a focus, Galamsey became a major negative of our society, and I really sympathize with the president, and that's why I put the Galamsey phenomenon there. The Galamsey phenomenon is taken away from his glorious presidency without any fault of his. He wanted to throw attention on it, he threw light on it, he met the chiefs. Somehow it was within that same context that the Galamsey was thriving. So it's a problem that we need to look at, and many people have talked about it, about Nipana, say the city, our love for money and all of that, but it's complicated because livelihood is difficult. So when somebody sees money and you tell him you shouldn't go for it so the others will drink water, he will ask you what about his water. So government must find ways, and that's why I like what Bawumia is doing. In fact, every party is doing that, getting to talk to the Galamseyers and telling them, say, inti munja ensure no mine no obeka so munja obeka cho so mbejai ukodu akra no maye because omu ya obi gina ho a auto goal na jisika it is kasem dey na ede it say na say the whole government must come together, the citizens, and decide how we go about it, because we ain't be brave so anasa oji obi anu aduane and it's na politicians fire chiko ka kire omu say mamu fi omu ye ba be mamu aye and you can't blame the politicians too much. You are saddled in a village, you are trying to win a parliamentary seat. Half of the young men there are Galamsey. Now catch them say Galamsey will be Jaya. They are Sembeba. And you know, this Galamsey phenomenon is I really feel sorry for Akufo-Addo that it is in his time that Galamsey has become like this. It's a negative point.
Fantastic. In this book, apart from the editorial stories as so far you go through it, and for more 582 paged book, what was a Juma Akom apart from the editorial stories, no, and you know being
the story no ya chronicle from senior SCC the stories are yesha na impacted Fourth Republic no ya chronicle from 92 inti book no so there but who here say we can book ni na inti ya itemize in the contents page topic any sub topics any page the interest no ahwe no akan we dey talk akra no abra di bronya wi no asa kan ba ko next year no agoye nsan ko ba bia next year no asa kan bia end of first 4 years of the 9th parliament e be san chiro for ngofo be encourage me say me in chapter by chapter na me chiro no kitchen and that be brave obi an kan say na small bible news bible and kitchen
anyway, how long it taking you to put this together?
It's an interesting question, Kofu Bisame, but they've been in my mind as they happened. I've put them in my mind for that long, and then over the last 1 year, we started putting this together because I thought that after nearly 25 years of journalism, I needed to document something that shows the work that has been done.
This is powerful. I mean, story number 5, J.J. Rawlins's Rude Awakening to the New Democracy, the 31st December court case, and no error. And you even examined Justice's Etna case, so on this very, very popular constitutional law case. And it's a must-have book. Into obi 8 year which category of Ghanaians now was a kind book law students
with the trauma obia titru ne students, lecturers, politicians. When the new parliament comes up, mema NPP abako and the publishers na kasa say so we have 276 each MP will get one in January. Obia we to abama etina we need parliament bia no we need our conversation in back on book so I'll get every MP, Supreme Court judges, students, journalists, and so that we can read it, and I want people to read it and confront it and say this is that so we can discuss it and then hopefully we can get something better out of it, but we've done our best and we've done fidelity to the truth.
Sure. I mean, so some speakers of parliament are in our pictures about why is the most impactful. And I say, Speaker of Parliament, I don't know if it's actually. So I say me name one Speaker of Parliament. Those are boy, you might pay when.
the reason why mine is our story is my own bias. You know, the person who I think wins, number one in the speaker. As I had such a love for the one who came second, which is Peter Ajete came second. I think DF Anan wins it, and I explained yes, DF Anan is the best speaker we have had. Now, DF Anan also is the only speaker to have done 2 terms so far. Okay. Yes, because he did 2 terms. Ajete did 1.
Yeah, first and second parliament.
Yes, he did first and second. Ajete, Bejina Seche Hughes, Madam Professor Mills' speaker.
Yes, Joyce Adeline Bamford.
Yes, Joyce Bamford. Then you have Doa Jao. Yeah. Then you have
Michael Quinn.
Bagbin. Yeah. So now DF Anan needed to navigate a certain corner for this democracy to survive. J.J. Rawlings, they don't like democracy, we all know that. But he was convinced that it works.
Yes.
One of the institutions that J.J. Rawlings did not like about democracy was Parliament. Because in 79, he and his soldiers went into Parliament and turned upside down the kitchen, that all they do is they are drinking tea. He sent Amatekwe and Co there to go and, ransack the Parliament. So the Parliament was the most annoying part of the democracy to the revolutionary adventurers. They thought that Parliament was unnecessary. They go and sit down and do nothing. So when the Constitution came and they had to have Parliament, and they decided that DF Anan should be the speaker, the NPP boycotted the first Parliament.
Yes.
Good riddance to bad rubbish is what Rawlings and his people thought. Then in 1996, NPP came into Parliament. Everyone was waiting to see how Rawlings will react to NPP getting into Parliament and challenging something that he wanted to do. DF Anan was in the center of this. NPP had only 66, just 1/3 of the Parliament. Now, what DF Anan did in a similar situation that we have recently had, is when budget time for 1997. Now, in January 1997, Rawlings was told, say, NPP about Parliament. The Constitution Article 78 says that ministers are appointed with the prior approval of Parliament. Just say Parliament, they might vet them, and NPP will be at the vetting. And they are going to ask your ministers all kinds of questions. And Rawlings was worried. And they said, okay, get DF Anan. They wrote a letter to DF Anan that this is the list of ministers. And they called it retained ministers. That's a letter that went to just
retained ministers.
The following ministers have been retained.
That's from the 92 to 96. And retained. They were retained for 96.
So the letter went to DF Anan. JH Meta saw it. It's called on Akufo-Addo and said, look at what they are trying to do. They're trying to avoid